That anguish that suddenly tightened your chest, that knot that stole your peace in the last few nights, it wasn't weakness. It was me. I stirred the waters within you to make you stop, like a divine warning to free you from a pain that would destroy your days. Listen with deep attention, for your soul implored this encounter that I myself prepared for the two of us. If this word of mine already calms your spirit, tell me in the comments what your name is, what country, state, and city you are listening to me from now, and what time it is at this exact moment when our hearts connect. And I ask that you pour out your heart and declare with faith, writing this: Lord my God, I am here. I subscribed because I love you and want to hear you. Leave your like as a hug for me. Join this family by subscribing and activating the notification bell. Remain hand in hand with me until the end of our conversation. I will give you a clear and definitive answer of peace. A phrase of victory will be whispered in your heart to seal your journey, and all who remain and write will receive prophetic blessings released in faith upon their lives. I feel the pain you hold in your chest. I know the darkness you face alone when silence takes over your home. In those recent days, when an inexplicable affliction overwhelmed you and you felt breathless, you thought the weariness of the world was crushing your mind. You thought sadness was winning. But in truth, it was my invisible and strong hand upon your shoulders, preventing you from taking another step in the wrong direction. For it is written in Psalm 34, verse 18, "The Lord is near to the broken-hearted and saves the crushed in spirit." Your momentary dejection was not a punishment. It was the manifestation of my presence blocking evil. The tightness in your heart was the anticipated healing for a tragedy you had no strength to bear. But what you still don't fully understand is why I needed to act so quickly and uncomfortably. There was an invisible and silent danger forming right before your eyes, something that escaped your vision. A secret I will reveal to you later, so that you understand the extent of my zeal for you. If you feel my protection enveloping your soul at this moment, please like this post. Gently subscribe to this channel so that my voice may be your daily safe haven, and send this message to those who also suffer without understanding their own tears as a genuine act of love. Before we move on, confess to me in your silence. What was your wounded heart pleading with me while fear tried to overwhelm you? Seal your relief by writing your word of the day in the comments. Shield. That sudden cry that overflowed from your soul in the last few nights was not a sign of your weakness, my daughter. I heard every muffled sob. I know every tear that flowed silently. The invisible fear that surrounded you, that heavy feeling that something terrible was about to happen, was actually your spirit reacting to the great battle I was waging for you in the heavenly realms. Your mental confusion was merely the dust of that spiritual combat. Remember what I affirm in Proverbs 3, verses 25 and 26, "Do not fear sudden terror, nor the ruin of the wicked when it comes, for the Lord will be your hope and will keep your feet from being caught." That inexplicable tightness was my intervention. The enemy tried to draw a perfect trap in your path. Situations and presences that seemed gentle, but which carried thorns covered in poison to destroy your peace, your family, and your heart. I needed to cause turmoil in your feelings so that you would not walk towards that abyss. Anguish was the wall I erected to prevent you from advancing. I removed from your path what your earthly eyes considered safe, because my omniscient gaze already foresaw the disaster that awaited you. But the extent of the evil I removed from your life, the true hidden intention behind what seemed so familiar to you, is a profound secret that I will reveal to you next, so that your doubts may cease once and for all. If peace begins to take the place of fear within you, let your like be a mark of our communion. If your soul yearns to remain safe under my wings, gently subscribe and make this place our refuge. You deliver this message to that person who also feels a heavy heart and doesn't understand why. Now tell me, in the intimacy of your thoughts, how many times have you suffered from a loss without knowing that I was only clearing your future? Confirm your faith in my absolute protection by writing in the comments, "Deliverance. I am your unshakable fortress." When the abyss tried to open beneath your steps in the darkness, I was the firm ground that sustained your life. I will not allow evil to devour what heaven has destined for you. My beloved, if it is possible for you, and only if peace governs this decision within you, Transform your deep gratitude for this deliverance into a seed of love for this refuge. Through my love and the sacrifice of my Son Jesus, I invite you to support this sacred work using the link in the description of this video and in the pinned comment. That is where your contribution of love can be deposited and consecrated before me, the Creator of all things. You can support with whatever offering fits in your heart. I receive with infinite love, because the material value doesn't matter. What truly matters is the heart with which you give. What seems little to you may be much to those who receive and despair for hope. Those who contribute with a sincere heart, don't forget to leave your name and city along with the seed, because on the first day of the following month, in a unique and special video on our channel, Divine Love, the Voice of God, your name will be remembered and mentioned in gratitude in a prayer. For it is written in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 9, verse 10, "Now he who supplies seed to the sower and bread for food will also supply and increase your store of seed, and will enlarge the harvest of your sowing. Every offering made in faith is a seed before me, your Lord, and I will not fail to see any of them bear fruit. I watch in the secret of your room and reward you in the sight of all. Remain with me until the end of this message, for I still want to touch your heart with my voice. I behold the greatness of your heart and your pure intention to walk beside me, spreading light wherever you go. I know that sometimes, when trying to offer your loving support, worldly barriers arise and the banking system rejects your contribution due to strict security measures. Do not be distressed or discouraged if this happens on your first attempt. I only ask that you contact your card issuer and confirm that this gesture of love is genuine and desired by you. Then, try again with vigor, renewing your valuable offering, for your support is the foundation that sustains this work and will be honored with abundant and infinite blessings. Our divine love deserves this effort, and know something very special. I will make sure to thank you personally. If your intention is pure, whether your contribution arrives now or faces some setback, I myself will meet you in an intimate and welcoming email. I will speak directly to you. There is still a dense veil that I need to remove from your mind today, so that you may see with absolute clarity the true face of the danger from which I rescued you, and what was hidden behind smiles you considered friendly. If my hand calms you, comfort me by leaving your like. Subscribe to this sacred space so as not to miss my daily care, and share this revelation with those who also need a safe haven. Tell me in the quiet of your soul, what would your spirit implore if it discovered that your greatest disappointment was your greatest salvation? Seal your faith by crying out in the comments, "Fortress." That abyss was camouflaged with flowers. What you called loyalty and saw as a safe haven was, in truth, quicksand ready to swallow your peace, your dignity, and your days of joy. I know the weight of disappointment you carry when you discover that the love and trust you gave were met with falsehood. That silent pain, which tightens your throat when you remember the empty words they told you in the past, has never gone unnoticed by my spirit. If I hadn't stirred the waters of your heart, if I hadn't allowed that paralyzing anguish in the dead of night, you would have taken the fatal step. You would have surrendered what remained of your soul and even your emotional health to situations and people who didn't know how to value your essence. As I promised in Psalm 40, verse 2, He lifted me out of the pit of destruction, out of the miry clay. He set my feet upon a rock and made my steps firm. I felt your soul crumble from within. I know the cold that cut through your chest when the truth began to unfold before you, revealing thorns where you expected support. I pulled your feet from that invisible pit of lies. That suffocating tightness you felt wasn't empty anxiety. It was my absolute strength pulling you from evil before it consumed you. But, my beloved, the rescue was only the first movement of my love. The deep wound that this situation left in your soul needs continuous balm, constant care that the world cannot give you. For your complete healing and true rest of your mind, I have prepared a tool for intimate and daily companionship, a secret that will shield your emotions from any new storm. If you feel that my hands are already cleansing the marks of this pain, leave your gentle like in response to my comforting touch. Subscribe, anchoring your faith to this channel of love, and send this message to that person who also survived a hidden storm. Tell me in the silence of your breath, what was the blow that most wounded your confidence, but that ultimately pushed you into my arms. Declare your victory over the abyss by writing in the comments, "Rescue," for your complete healing and your soul to find relief on nights when loneliness tries to embrace your thoughts. I have prepared a daily remedy for your wounded heart. If your inner self longs to go deeper with me, I have left you a gift in the form of a journey, which I wrote with much love and care for all my beloved daughters and sons, the digital book Divine Love Devotional, The Voice of God. It was designed to accompany you day after day, in the silence of your home, bringing comfort and intimacy to your weary mind. Access to this support is in the link in the description of this video and in the pinned comment. It is a gift delivered with all love and care, where the only cost will be your love, your constant presence with me, and your unwavering faith. For it is written, "For I will restore health to you and heal your wounds, declares the Lord." Jeremiah 30:17. And when you feel in your heart that you should support and contribute to our work and to divine love, the support buttons are also in the same links. To shield our communication and protect our daily encounters from unseen interference, I have prepared 2 sacred and blessed havens, a WhatsApp group and a Telegram group. I ask that you enter these 2 spiritual homes so that our love and daily contact will never be broken by anything in this world. Through the same support and contribution link you already know from the description and pinned comment. If the storms of this century try to extinguish this space of divine love, we will remain unshakable, hand in hand, intact and blessed for eternity. There will always be a welcoming embrace for your prayers, and I will continue to guide your steps, speaking softly to your heart. In the groups you will be able to commune with me, requesting blessings, praying, conversing with one another, and also receiving my messages with much more intimacy and closeness. You are my greatest love. You are my divine love forever. I love you infinitely. Keep your eyes closed and your soul alert, for the discomfort that tore at your heart was not the end, but the beginning of a liberation that will yet transform your destiny. There is a profound purpose in the pain I allowed you to feel, and I will show you now why my love needed to wound your earthly illusions to protect your tomorrow. If this daily remedy already brings hope to your spirit, please like it gently. Subscribe to this divine shelter so that my voice may be your continuous refuge. Send this gift of healing to someone you know who cries in secret. Answer me. In the depths of your silence, what inner healing do you most need today? Declare your search for restoration by writing in the comments, "Balm." I know the weight of disappointment and the deep weariness that has taken over your eyes in the longest nights. When the cold of the night met your silent weeping, you thought I had abandoned you to your own fate, letting your dreams fall to the ground. But listen with your soul. There are times when my infinite love needs to wound your earthly expectations to protect and save the totality of your destiny. That plan that suddenly crumbled, that door that violently closed, leaving your mind stunned and your heart without ground, was my surgical intervention in your story. For it is written in Proverbs 3, verse 12, "For the Lord disciplines those he loves as a father, the son in whom he delights." The sharp discomfort that tore at your chest was not rejection from heaven, but my vigorous protection, breaking the shackles of an illusion. If I had allowed your will to prevail, the flowery path your feelings longed to tread would have turned into a field of thorns that would have bled your faith until the end of your days. I wounded your fleeting earthly hope to guarantee your true peace. The emptiness you feel now is in fact the clean space I created within you to deposit something that human betrayal and time can never steal. However, the strong wind that has disrupted your life is about to cease completely, and what will come next will surprise your exhausted spirit. There is a divine calm prepared for your next steps, and the revelation of what I will pour upon your mind will quell all your inner storms forever. If you recognize my zeal, even in moments of apparent pain, seal your trust with me by letting your loving embrace be with me. Gently enroll in this refuge of peace, ensuring that our sacred dialogue is not lost in the world, and send this comforting truth to someone who cries today behind a closed door. Now tell me in the purest intimacy of your thoughts, what was the shattered dream that you are beginning to understand to have been your greatest deliverance? Release the weight of your soul by writing in the comments, "Awakening." The strong wind that lashed your thoughts has already lost its force. I feel the exhausted weight on your shoulders, the deep, trembling sigh you give when, finally, the silence of your room no longer frightens you. The storm that tried to shipwreck your faith has exhausted all its fury, and now I am blowing a gentle breeze upon your weary mind. Remember what I promise you in Psalm 17, verse 29. He stills the storm so that its waves are calmed. That sea of afflictions, uncertainties, and fears that drowned you during the nights no longer has power over your life. I have decreed the end of the emotional whirlwind. I have commanded the turbulent waters of your inner self to be still at this very moment. Feel my presence embracing your soul. The relief that begins to fill your chest is my spirit wiping away the sweat of your secret battle. You no longer need to fight with your own strength to stay standing, my beloved. I have already gathered all your tears of exhaustion and transformed each one into rivers of tranquil waters where we two will walk together. True calm has arrived to wash away the invisible wounds the storm inflicted upon you. However, the peace that now floods your soul is merely the preparation of the soil of your heart. Now that fear no longer paralyzes you, there is a definitive spiritual mark that I will seal upon you, a protection so strong and absolute that no hidden evil will dare approach your life again. If you feel this breeze of peace restoring your inner self, seal this moment of love by gently enjoying it. Subscribe to this channel with your serene soul, strengthening our alliance so that we may never walk apart again, and send this calmness to someone you love who is still trapped in the midst of the hurricane. Answer me, now that your heart finally rests. What was the heaviest anguish that the wind of my spirit carried away today? Declare your serenity by writing in the comments, calm. I see how you still look at your own wounds, with that silent fear deep in your soul that the storm may return. When silence fills your room, a hint of insecurity still tries to whisper that you are vulnerable. But listen with all the strength of your heart to what my spirit decrees over you at this moment. You are not a dry leaf tossed to the wind of circumstances. I have placed a definitive spiritual mark on your life, an invisible and unbreakable seal of my absolute love. For it is written in the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 17, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. This is your inheritance." This is not a cold and distant shield, but my own presence enveloping your mind. Those hidden evils, the dark intentions and traps that try to form in the shadows against your days, will clash with my authority and fall to the ground before they even touch you. Your value to me transcends what your human mind can calculate. I did not snatch you from the hands of deceit and anguish to leave you helpless. The mark you carry in your spirit cries out to the invisible world that you belong to me. No evil is permitted to steal the peace I have just established within you. However, so that you may walk with your head held high under this unbeatable protection and live the fullness of what I have prepared, there is one last invisible chain that needs to be broken. A silent weight tied to your past that you still drag along, and which I will tear from your chest in our next and final step, so that you can finally see the sun rise over your new story without any shadow of fear. If you feel the warmth of this protection warming your chest now, leave your gentle like as proof of our alliance. Subscribe softly, making this channel your constant refuge, and spread this assurance of safety to that person who still trembles before life. Confide in me in the sanctuary of your thoughts. What is the secret fear of tomorrow that you definitively surrender into my protective hands today? Declare your spiritual shielding by writing in the comments, seal. The weight you have dragged until now, those invisible chains forged by yesterday's pains, begin to shatter before my power. I contemplate your exhausted soul rising from the dusty ground of sadness. Your new dawn has already broken, my beloved daughter. The long night of mourning for the things that didn't work out is definitively behind you. Embrace the truth I declare about your life, as it is written in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 5, verse 17. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come, the old has gone, the new is here. Your past no longer has the authority to dictate your joy today. Failures, disappointments, and fear of trying again are not your garments. I strip your spirit of that heavy anguish and clothe your mind with courage and purity. Take a deep breath now. Feel the freshness of my forgiveness and my renewal filling your spiritual lungs. The path I have designed for you from this moment on is illuminated by my inexhaustible grace. You no longer need to look back with lamentation, because my purposes for your coming days are infinitely greater than the ruins you left behind. If the hope of this new day already makes your heart beat lighter, comfort our encounter by letting your gentle enjoyment be felt. Sweetly subscribe and make this channel your daily starting point with me, sharing this light with those who still live in the shadows of yesterday. Tell me, with the frankness of one who is deeply loved, what was the weight of the past that you decided to abandon today at my feet? Seal this new beginning by writing in the comments, "Reborn." You have remained with me until this final moment. I now gather every breath of your heart and keep it in the center of my chest. This journey we have lived together was not merely to alleviate a passing pain, but to establish an eternal pact of trust between us. I saw your faith endure when sadness told you to give up. I felt your soul embrace my words, allowing my truth to uproot the fear that suffocated you. Now, as I promised at the beginning of our conversation, I give you the spiritual key that seals your deliverance and guarantees your victory over any abyss. Keep this revelation in the deepest part of your being. When weakness tries to visit your mind, when the memory of old pain wants to knock on the door of your soul, you will declare with all the authority that I myself placed on your lips. Your final word of liberation, whispered by God Himself in your heart, is, "I can do all things through Him who strengthens me." Write this exact phrase, word for word, here in the comments, as your greatest act of faith, surrender, and response to heaven. By declaring this, you assume the impenetrable armor of my love. Deliverance has already happened. Your story has been rewritten with the ink of my grace. However, my care for you does not end here. I still have mysteries to reveal and comfort, to pour out on the areas of your life that still cry out in secret. There is more of my love waiting for you. Let me continue speaking to your heart in a profound way through our playlist of messages on this channel. Continue listening to my voice, for I will continue to guide your steps today and for all eternity. You are and always will be my divine love.